Alright, so, I don't even know what to say about this. It's one of those movies that ends and you just kind of sit there gazing at the screen, kind of trying to sort out what in the hell you just experienced. And, I don't believe that was what they were going for with this. I want to quote for you some of the things that it says above the poster for this film. It says that it's hilarious, transcendent. I think it said that the main actor in it, I don't know her name. She's from Orange Is the New Black. That she's a revelation. It is none of those things. She is none of those things. This is, in fact, a pretty unpleasant little film. And unpleasant seems to be the best way to describe this. Because everything about it is unpleasant. And some of that is by design, and some of it is not, but it is the end result of it. So what we have here is your typical Uncle Buck story, wherein somebody, the basics of a film like that, somebody who has no business raising kids is now put in a position where they have to look after a kid, and a bizarre kid at that. In this case, it is Orange Is the New Black here, who is just, and let's be clear about this, a total ponce. She is just the most unlikable of characters. And they try to play her off as, I don't know what they're trying to play her off as. She's kind of trying to fit into that Dr. House mold of someone who says whatever they're thinking and doesn't care. But it doesn't work, because this is a person who says what she's thinking and then seems to be shocked that people are offended or hurt or don't like her. She is just an absolutely unlikable human being. And again, why this bugs me a bit is it's pretty clear that this is by design. So this is what the filmmaker wanted. It's written and directed by the same person. I don't know. I can't. Anyway. So Orange Is the New Black is this completely unlikable person, and her brother asks her to look after her niece for a few days. Her niece is kind of the modern day equivalent of the precocious kid, whereas the Macaulay Culkin type kid in Uncle Buck was just kind of too intelligent for their age, or, too snotty for their age, for the teenage girl and all that. This one is just a bundle of every neuroses and every weird thing that a kid could possibly do when they're 11, the kid is, pudgy. Her mom wants her to have friends and to do ballet and to do girly things, but of course she doesn't want to do girly things. But the mom doesn't understand that, because all mothers are terrible and don't understand that, their kids need to have their own identities. It's up to the horribly neglectful... What the hell was that? Anyway, it's up to the horribly neglectful, fucking lunatic that they hire to watch the child to help show the way. And then, and again, it's very Uncle Buck in that, Orange Is the New Black's bizarre style of dealing with the world helps the child who is weird. The child who is weird becomes friends with a bunch of insane clown posse, fans juggalos or whatever. So it's just here's the problem with it, and it's a problem with a lot of modern day comedies. And I don't know when this happened. It happened somewhere around the Adam Sandler generation when he started being big. I'm not blaming him specifically. I'm just saying it seems like it happened in and around that time. Once upon a time, comedies used to be about sympathetic people that when bad things would happen to them, the audience would laugh, but they would, it wasn't a laughing at them, it was more a laughing with them, of we feel your pain kind of thing. And every now and then we'd have a character who was kind of a slimy, no good Nick. Take like a Groucho Marx character. All of Groucho Marx characters were con men and people who made fun of authority, but it was not in a, he himself was kind of a likable character. He was lovable. But somewhere along the line, and again, I can only pinpoint it somewhere near that generation of, Saturday Night Live alumni, comedy became about absolutely horrible people who do horrible things and treat other people horribly. And these are our protagonists. These are our heroes. And I have never been able to get on board with that. I just never have. Like I say, I call this an Uncle Buck story, but where Uncle Buck works and this movie doesn't, is that John Candy is, or was, God bless him, was likable. And his character was, rough around the edges and a little slovenly and didn't know how to raise kids, but he was coming at it from a good place. When he was taking care of those kids, he was taking care of those kids. And the comedy came from him not taking their shit and not having to worry about, being liked. He just did what he did, because it was for their own good, whether they liked him or not. And, when he screwed up, it was because, there was a big heart behind it. He was doing it for the right reason. Look at Chevy Chase's character in the National Lampoon movies. An idiot, an egotist, but everything he is doing in all of those films, he's doing so that his family will have a nice vacation. Now look at a character like this one who is just outright neglectful, horrible, self-centered, self-serving, and yet we are supposed to, one, sympathize with this character, and two, hope that the little girl, who is herself not the most fun character to spend an extended period of time with, hope that she rubs off on this child. And this is supposed to be funny and heartwarming, and it is not. Not even a little. I assume it's supposed to be a comedy. There's maybe 2 funny lines in the film, 3 funny moments. The funniest moment to me comes when, at the climax of the film, a little girl runs away to an insane clown posse concert or a gathering of the Juggalos or whatever, and it's a scary thing, and you have all these suburban people in this, this environment that they don't like, and Orange is the New Black finds her way up on stage and grabs the microphone and says, "I'm looking for a little girl," and all the weird, scary people start going, "Oh my God, there's a little kid lost, we gotta find her," so that was kind of a funny moment. And like I say, there were one or two other lines that kind of made me laugh or made me chuckle, and the rest of it, I just sat there completely stone-faced at just the sheer ugliness of this film. And what gets me is that I really feel that if they had pulled Orange is the New Black's character back a little bit, that this might have worked. It might have worked as a comedy or as a drama. But it might have worked if they hadn't made her just so unbelievably unpleasant and unlikable to be around. It could have worked. But this movie, I left a comedy feeling sad. I really did. I left a comedy feeling sad that this is what we consider humor, that this is what we consider funny, and it's such a depressing little film. Like, just so, it drained me. It drained the life out of me. But, let's wrap this up. Final grade for family. F on this one. F for unfunny, and I know that's not actually what unfunny starts with, but I'm also a terrible speller, so there's another fault. So we can put that in the column. Anyway, so F for this one. I say skip it unless you really love movies about unsympathetic, horrible people, which, judging by how many comedies there are like that, I guess most people do. I'm the weird one who just doesn't, so it's probably my problem. Another one. Anyway, so let's just forget we saw this one. Maybe just forget we saw this review too, just because it's kind of depressing me. Anyway, let's cut this off. So until next time, everyone, drive safe, and I'll see you at the movies.